Candace, and on behalf of Arc Reaction, the past 2.5 months, we've actually been working with a lot of your staffs and getting to know your policies, things that matter to your office right now, things that we want to highlight on social media. The whole premise was we want to get DLG out there, let people know what the LGs are doing, but in order to do that, we have to be able to highlight you all, okay? And we understand that's not a one-size-fits-all thing for everyone, right? Everyone's got different topics that they want to focus on. So what we decided is we were going to do a social media digital audit with your staffs, and we've talked to just over half of them, learning what's working, what's not working, what your hang-ups are, topics we can work with you on to help you amplify your own social media, as well as push out on DLGAs as well. So in doing that, we picked up on some pretty consistent trends, concerns, issues that people were having. And so the whole point of this is we just want to go over some tips and tricks and have a little fun with you all on the social media end. Okay? So this slide basically just shows the percentage of growth that we've had on our platforms over the past 2 months. And this is not a nod to us, this is a nod to you all. We're getting emails from your staffs, we're getting incredible content on your platforms as is right now. So the more you keep that up, the easier it is for us to push this out, but we definitely like to get as much content as possible from you all so we can push it out on our platforms as well.
Can we ask a really quick question?
Yeah, oh yeah, please ask questions.
Growth is great, but that's on what number? Like, was it one?
Very little. This actually, I didn't want this slide in here, full disclosure.
That's on Instagram.
Because it started so low. It's essentially started at nothing, and
Okay.
here we are. So just the growth there, that's it. But over the course of 2 months, that's where it is.
Cool.
Yeah. Good call out though.
Interpret
No,
right,
I get it. Next slide. Okay. So what we're actually going to do, before we dig into all of these, I want to note that all of you are doing a great job on your social media. You really are. I couldn't highlight everyone in every category. We'd be here for 5 hours. So in the interest of time, here we are. One of the biggest things is using your true voice. And a lot of you do it. Are you nervous over here?
No, I want my staff to make sure it's easy.
Are you in an argument about this right now?
It's a constant struggle.
Yeah, I haven't spoken with your staff yet. So here it is. The whole thing about True Voice, right? Letting people know who you are. And again, having fun with it. Showing your character, your personality here. The way we like to break this down is talk on social media like you talk to your peers. A lot of times we look at it and we're like, oh gosh, like I've got to tweet, I've got to put something on Facebook, Instagram, what am I going to say, what's relevant? Just pretend like you're talking to your best bud, your spouse, talk to your kids, and translate that into a tweet. So this is kind of fun when you guys got, congratulations by the way, you're getting the DNC, so it's very clear that Wisconsin has the champagne of beers and the DNC, so it's just kind of fun. You do a great job too talking about policy and making it a little more relatable, right? Home run derby. Using emojis here, they always feel foreign, they feel kind of hokey, but I gotta tell you from a social media perspective, they work. Right? We see 10 times over, emojis are gonna be a lot more successful than just using jargon, okay? So your tip here is use your true voice, avoid jargon. It's going to force you to be and sound real. It allows you to also take a step back and say, how am I going to communicate this to my child or my spouse? Okay? The next one, tell your story. This is great. Telling your story, it sounds easy, but it also sometimes when we're put in a position where we have to tell our story, we're kind of faced with what's fascinating about it, right? We love this series that's going on right now. It's your How You Do It series. This is great. So basically, do you guys all follow each other on social media? Okay, good. If you're not, make sure your staffs are following everyone as well. It's important. But Kathy Hochul is asking herself, she presented this question. Every day I'm asked, how do you do it? Okay. And what's neat about this is she then continues to break it down in a series of responses. Okay, so it's not once a week she's going to post this. It's pretty infrequently. I mean, I don't know if there's actually a consistency on your end, but it's a couple times a week we're seeing a post and the hashtag is how she does it. Okay. The underlying tones here are the women's empowerment. So it's Women's History Month. Nice thing to highlight right here. on your end, it's really neat to take a step back and say, what's unique about my story? What is a question that I get asked so many times in office? I need to address it, but how am I? There is not enough time in the day to answer this one question. This is your platform to do that, okay? Think of a question that's got a multifaceted response, and that'll allow you to draw it out for months, if not a year, because the answer to that question is happening all the time. All right, engage on issues and have fun. Are you shocked I'm highlighting you here? So we know that Lieutenant Governor Flanagan loves puppies based on our social media stuff.
It's a statement of fact.
Okay, good. High return on those puppy posts though too. So here, all this is to say, you can have fun with policy issues, right? America's favorite hot topic right now, not really, is potholes, just with the storms going on. And so what she did is presented all of her followers with a call to action here, okay? Tell us about your pothole stories, essentially. You're setting yourself up here for a lot of responses, and I'm sure it's not all positive. But what's great about it is this is an incredible platform for you to be able to actually engage with people about the topic, okay? So the tip here is to use hashtags as well as mentions, because then she can easily go in, and then potholes is not a trending thing. It is not a thing that was going on prior to you presenting this question. I presume, I don't.
That's correct.
And so all you need to do is then click on and then potholes, and you're gonna see a series of responses based around potholes, and then you then know to respond to those. This is kind of fun. I love this GIF that she put here. Here she is with potholes, which is a puppy, and then this is somebody responding to her, and she just retweeted it. Okay. Engagement is your friend here.
I just want to be clear, this is a connection to needing to pass an increase in the gas tax.
Yes. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got some of that too.
Thank you for your number. We really appreciate it.
Okay, well this is be consistent. So LG Gilchrist here. We like consistency, obviously. I mean, we're all striving for it. With it, it is hard. You all have busy schedules. We get that. And so what we recommend is that you just set aside 30 minutes a month. It could be 15. It doesn't have to be that long. Create a social media calendar that basically says, here's the 30 days this month. Write down your events that are coming up. And the reason I know you all have calendars internally, taking a step back and looking at it from a social media perspective, you're going to be able to see trends that occur from day to day. You're going to see a lot of overlap. So even though you do know those, sometimes it's easier to visualize what's there. Okay. With that, that helps us tell our story when we connect the dots in that regard. So right here, LG Gilchrist went around Michigan as he is doing his political visits. He's also reading to students in the morning. And so I think this is pretty cool because every day he's sitting down and reading to kids in the classroom. However, what's neat about these posts, they're not the same. He's making each post relevant to that visit that he had that morning. I did ask your team the question on social media if they made you sit at one of the desks. I am kind of curious.
Really tiny chairs.
Did you fit? So yeah, you can have a lot of fun with it though. Even though it's the same thing often, you can actually diversify it a little bit, okay? And this all goes to say that if you can implement video as well, you're gonna see a lot more success with those posts. Your video posts generally are gonna generate at least double the organic traffic of just a simple static photo, okay? With that, video is not always super comfortable for everyone to do. So what I encourage is that you challenge yourself or your staff to create just one 6 to 30 second video every single week. You'll get a little more comfortable with it as you go. LG Zuckerman does a great job on social media with your digital town halls. I absolutely love those. They're great. So what he does is he'll bring in an expert on a topic, and he'll just sit down, I assume in your office, and just have a conversation with them about whatever that topic may be. Okay? That's a great platform. Another way to do that too is you can do Facebook Lives. You can do Instagram Lives where you ask people to submit questions ahead of time. You can then take those, you can also do it where people in real time are asking you questions on Instagram and Facebook, and that's also a great way to increase your engagement. And then another thing too is when you post a video on your Instagram story, you can connect it to your Facebook stories, okay? This is the only time I will ever encourage that cross-platform posting. Because Instagram is owned by Facebook, they specifically want you to cross-promote on different platforms, so they make it very easy to pull the video from Instagram to Facebook. Okay. Does anyone have questions about any of that? I know it's kind of video's tricky sometimes. Okay. All right. Yeah.
If you don't mind.
No.
Being sensitive to the disability community with the videos and the closed captioning, what do you recommend there?
Yeah, there's multiple platforms. It just kind of depends on if there's a budget for it. Do you have a preference on the one that you use for closed captioning? Was it just through Didier? Okay. I can help you with a direct link on that too, and we're more than happy to help you with the closed captioning as well. YouTube, if you post a video to YouTube, they do have an option within the platform, so it's very easy. Yeah. And that is a good thing too. You should always close caption your videos if able. So right here too, the post, you're gonna see conflicting information on this always. This is what we found is best for political platforms. Facebook, 1 to 2 times a day. Shoot for 7 to 10 a week. You don't always have to hit that number. The biggest thing is don't ever post just to post. Make sure you're posting quality content that people want to hear. Tweet 1 to 5 times a day, and then post on Instagram 1 time a day. And that's a little bit high. When I say 1 time a day, we like to supplement with Instagram stories. So maybe 3 times a week on your actual Instagram post, and then 3 to 4 times a week on your story, vice versa. Okay? And are there any questions for me about any of the things we went over? Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'm just seeing here, are there preferred hashtags that you want us to use? Always DLGA? Or,
Yeah.
You know,
Always DLGA, and then what's relevant, we like to keep, if you're ever searching for the right hashtags to use, try to keep it ones that are under 100,000. Those are gonna be the ones that pop up the most with micro-influencers. Yeah. Is there another question?
Yeah, regarding the sort of the cross-platform, and not posting the same post on 3 different platforms, how do you determine, and how would we advise folks to use Facebook versus Twitter versus Instagram?
Yeah, definitely. So Facebook is going to be where you want to go to promote a longer form content piece, okay? You can technically post on different platforms the same topic, change the post a little bit so the Facebook's a little bit longer. Hashtags aren't great on Facebook. They're best on Twitter and Instagram. So you want to be more focused on those when you're posting on those platforms. And then obviously tweets are shorter. Instagram, you can do longer form. It's tricky. It is a fine art, so there's a lot of caveats there. But you can do longer form on Instagram and then a multitude of hashtags. And that's going to be what gets you found is hashtags on Instagram. Are there any other questions? Yeah.
Do you guys have like a list of what trending hashtags for Twitter and Instagram would be good for us to use?
We don't, because it's changing all the time, but I'm happy to work with you. I can follow up with you after this, and we can work on the right hashtags to use. Even if it's certain topics that you want to promote, I'm happy to do the research on whatever that topic is and let you know. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. All right. Well, I think that's everything.
Thank you, Candace.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate it.